my parents were, they're very different now, um, but they were unwilling to love me the same way they loved my brother and sister. I knew that as a kid. I know that as an adult, and that's why we've had conversations about it as three adults now. But
Why do you think they did? Why do you think they did that?
I mean, my perception is because there is so much that sits with stereotypes that are whose foundation is racism. Realistically speaking, outside of the man who is my biological father, I was my mother's first exposure to black people, like an everyday exposure. I was her first. My stepdad, I was definitely his first. So there was just again, an unwillingness to meet me where I was as an emotional child, an emotional adult. Like that didn't change. Like jokes on them. They thought I was gonna grow out of it. But like I did, again, I can't say that they actually did the best that they did the best that they could, but I can't say that they gave me everything they could because I know they were unwilling to have the conversations because as a child I tried. Like I would try to write these letters describing how I feel and how much I love my parents. But as an adult, I realized that I was just saying those things because I knew that's what you were supposed to feel for your parents. We didn't have that type of emotional relationship, so I was just trying to make it, be a thing. Like people always say, daughters and their mothers are best friends. I have had to sit in therapy for a lot of hours to realize that is not going to be my life, and I have to find my way with my mom.
Yeah. So, so a couple things. So, and what you're saying is incredible. So do you think that they saw you, because I think that, parents of one generation dealing with a child of sort of another generation and how that child functions, whether it's emotional or empathic or whatever it is, have a hard time making a connection. Sometimes that can spiral into resentment and other things. The racial element, do you think that they saw you as black first and then their daughter? Or do you think that they understood that their daughter, who is black, is not dealing well with the fact that she's the only black person in this white experience and they didn't know how to navigate that? That was a lot.
That's a good question.
So I do feel fortunate that I know the duality of both of those things.
Right.
Because the latter of what you said is who my parents are right now.
Right.
I had a conversation with my mom over Thanksgiving where I was just saying something like maybe about I couldn't go back into corporate culture because I don't have a code switch left in me. And she said something to the sense of like, yeah, I can't imagine what that was like for you. And we just had a normal conversation. And I remember inside of myself being like, holy shit, we got there.
You felt seen.
We got there. But as a child, I don't think they have the verbiage or the vulnerability to admit that they saw me as black first. But like my own sister, I think she was 16 years old. We were shopping for a prom dress. And she admitted I terrified her. And my best friend was with me at the time.
And she's 9 years younger.
9 years younger. My best friend was with me. She's also mixed, but she's a lighter complexion. I was like, Cameron, you gotta stay with Nora right now because I need a second, because all of a sudden, everything I felt as a child was validated. Because this little girl, she didn't wake up thinking her big sister who did her hair for every special event, gave her candy, took her places. She didn't just wake up and be like, oh, my sister is scary. That was given to her somewhere. Mm-hmm. And if I would have been treated, I guess maybe like her in our family, I don't think she ever would have looked at me with fear.